Can you hear the kids? The kids are playing PlayStation. Kids! So if the kids are quiet, I'm going to show you how you can easily transform a boring looking YouTube studio into a nice cinematic looking one, only using a couple of lights. I've set up a B camera as well so that you can follow along and see where exactly I am putting the different lights and light stands. So let's start off with the first look. So here you have the lighting setup using only the main light. So this is a main light with a huge softbox on it. And the reason that I'm using a huge softbox is that it gives you a nice even light. The shadows are relatively soft compared to if you just remove that light. Now pay attention here that I have this kind of triangle, which is called the Rembrandt look or lighting, which is very cinematic. You've seen that in many Hollywood movies and movies or TV shows in general. Now to separate me a bit more from the background, let's switch on a hair light or rim light. Now I have set up two lights here because you do have the option of having a spotlight as well. Now, but what you can see what that one is doing, it does separate me very well from the background, but I think the room in general becomes a bit too bright. But let's continue to add some lights as well. You might go for this cinematic darker look. I like it. Let's add a fill light on this side. So I'm basically using a small pocket RGB light. And there you go. So now I'm not that dark on the left side, your right side. So this is a classic setup, 3-point lights. Now, if you want to have the background a bit darker, let's change the spotlight, the rim light over here, to a pocket RGB light. And there you can see the difference. It's not that powerful and the background stays nice and dark as well. But I still have some of that rim light effect that we want. And you can of course adjust that one to be brighter or weaker according to your needs. Next look. Now the next look is a very classic one from Hollywood movies and TV shows. It's a good old-fashioned orange and teal. Now, by just adding this pocket RGB light, you have the classic orange and teal look. It's called orange and teal basically because you have the skin tone, which is more or less orange, and the background, which is a teal, like a blue-greenish hue. You can never go wrong with this look. Oh, and I forgot to say that when you set up your camera, try to look for some leading lines. Like you can see now that I have these frames that are all pointing towards me so that your eyes will automatically go towards the subjects talking, in this case, me. But if you only have the main light, let's switch off this little guy for the moment. And what if you just use a big old reflector without width? So you can see that if you have one powerful light as the key light, you can bounce it off a reflector, so you don't need to have two lights. Before? No, after and before. Let's do a cinematic Marvel Star Wars kind of look. Now what we're gonna do here, we're gonna put this guy over on the left side, change the color to a pinkish one. And I should have thought this through. Where's the other one? Well, let's just use this one. And let's put this one on blue. Get them close. So this is very good if you are using, if you're doing like maybe a gaming channel or tech review channel. You can also switch on a hair light because now it's way too dark. Look at that. I like it. Orange and blue. I mean, you choose whatever you want to. Or you can use one if you only want to use one. Still works. You know, I mean, as long as you have some color in the face, it immediately becomes a little bit more cinematic than what you're used to see on a YouTube channel. Now, let's have a look at how this scene would be using only the lights that I have in my living room. Switch everything off. Let's use this one in the background, and we have this light. Switch off This guy, oh my, and we have to turn up the ISO significantly. So after changing the white balance on the main camera, this is more or less the look you have. Maybe this is something that you are used to shooting, the glow from your screen maybe. I mean, it just doesn't look as cinematic or professional for that matter. I don't like this look. Let's change it very fast. Now, a technical power tip here is if you are struggling to get the background dark, make sure that you draw the curtains, put the main light as close to you as possible and lower the ISO on your camera to maybe 200 so that the main light lights you while the background stays as dark as possible. If you're still struggling to get a nice cinematic look at home, make sure that you subscribe because I will do a color correction for YouTube videos at home. So that might even help you out further in getting a nice cinematic look at home. Until next time, my name is Paul and I am signing off. Peace.